Hi, I'm Nick from Dorman Products, and today we're here with Pete Meier, one of our resident trainers for Dorman Training Center, and we're going to try and get to know him a little bit better. We decided to turn the cameras on so you can too. Welcome, Pete. So what got you into vehicle repair?
That's a good question, Nick. I appreciate that. It's almost like a karma thing. You know, my father worked with his hands, and I worked with him when I was growing up. He was a carpenter. I got out of high school, went to college, spent about a year there when I figured that wasn't quite the thing for me. The college I went to was located in downtown Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
So parking wasn't always the easiest thing to do. So I got a motorcycle. It was easier to park, right?
Yep.
Well, I got bit by the bug, and I left college, went to Florida, to a motorcycle school in Daytona Beach, learned that trade, and then went back to Richmond and started my career in vehicle repair as a motorcycle technician.
Oh, okay. So what's in your garage currently? What do you drive?
If I'm gonna go around town, I tend to prefer two wheels over four still.
Okay, all right.
So I personally own a 2016 Harley Street Glide.
Okay.
And don't giggle too bad, guys. I also own a 2005 Ford Power Stroke 6-liter. I've done quite a bit of work on that, as you 6-liter owners probably are well aware of what's needed. So I got through all that.
So Pete, how long have you been in the industry repairing vehicles?
Oh gosh, 50 years now.
Okay.
Actually, probably a lot of the people watching are going to remember the days of the full service gas station. You know, that's where the neighborhood gas stations where you got your repairs made and your oil changed. And back in that days, it was, I was the man with the star,
Okay.
big bright Texaco star.
Okay.
So I got started I was 15 years old then.
Nice.
In and out of the business for a few years, like I said, going to college and going in the motorcycle business. So it, ended up here on the car side for, oh gosh, probably a good last 30 years.
Okay. In that 30 years, what's your favorite type of repair?
I really enjoy the challenge of fixing things that a lot of guys have tried and not been able to fix. It's a matter of continuing education, which is why I enjoy training so much. You know, when somebody asked me once, you know, what kind of car guy are you?
Right.
You know, and people will make the answer that, hey, I'm really into rebuilding 55 Chevys, or I'm into racing. I have a drag car,
Right.
or I can tell from the headlights and the engine sound what kind of a car it is.
Yep.
You know, for me, being a car guy is being able to end the day knowing that the car that was in my bay has been correctly diagnosed and repaired.
Right.
And I made that happen. I got that customer back on the road.
Not just throwing parts at it like a lot of
no
people in the
shotguns.
industry.
No shotguns.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, I'm very similar. I like the diagnostics. I like to be able to take the challenges that other people aren't willing to. So yeah, like you said, you keep learning. So, and I'm sure even on the training end, you're still learning. You know, it's nonstop, never ending.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to interject that real quick there, Nick, for the benefit of those who are watching as well. You know, if the challenges today are even more so,
right,
when it comes to continuing education, no longer is something nice to have. It's mandatory if you want to be in this industry.
Absolutely.
The technology changes so very fast. And as we commented before in our training classes, if you have some experience, that can be kind of an issue.
Yeah.
Only because you're so used to doing things the way you always have.
Exactly.
Sometimes that doesn't apply to these new vehicles.
Yeah,
you
it's
gotta
hard
be
to
careful.
come out of the box and really adapt to the new technologies, because I feel like in the last 15 years, the advancements were far more than the 50 years before that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No question.
I know you worked for Motor Age. What was your duties there?
I was the technical editor for Motor Age for a good dozen years, the oldest automotive trade publication in the country. It was first established back in 1899.
Wow.
We're still running with steam-powered engines back then. But it's a leading publication. It serves 110,000 independent shops in the country. Reaches a large amount of technicians, which was great because the thing that I was most passionate about, and still am, is getting resources in front of the professional man and woman that knows they need those resources but doesn't know where to get them.
Yep. So, you know, the industry really needs people like you, because just getting that wealth of information that you've absorbed over your entire, you know, tenure is huge to get that to the average tech that's just starting out.
Yeah. And the real advantage, both in Motor Age and now even with Dorman, is not just based on what I've learned or accumulated over time, because sometimes what you learn from a mentor isn't always correct or accurate. Again, especially in light of today's technologies.
Yep.
But we have the resources now where we can interact directly with the OEMs, with the leading aftermarket parts suppliers, including Dorman, on the real answers, the real solutions
Right.
to these problems,
Yep.
and be able to provide current, accurate information to these techs.
Huge asset.
Yeah.
Being in this industry, the next question is, what's your favorite tool?
My favorite tool, I'm a scope guy.
Okay.
If there is any tool I really love to play with, it's my diagnostic oscilloscope.
Yep.
I know
It
there's
tells the whole story.
It does, and I challenge technicians who are still kind of on the fence about using that tool.
Yep.
I tell them there's nothing on the engine or on that vehicle that you can test using a traditional testing method that I can't test using my scope.
Yep.
And I'll do it faster and more efficiently
Yep.
than you can.
And you'll get a full picture.
I'll get a bigger
Yep.
picture than you do. Absolutely.
Exactly. Every day people are starting in this industry. So what kind of advice could you give to a new technician starting out today?
Wow, that's a big question. Again, I have to stress that even if you just graduated from a program, your education has only begun.
Yep.
You want to continue that education, and you want to make sure that the sources that you get your training from are providing you with the right information,
Yep.
current, and again, accurate information.
Exactly.
There's so many techniques that they're just antiquated
Yep.
and don't have a place today. So make sure you're learning all the time, and find a shop that's going to support you in that. For many years, I always thought that technicians that didn't go to training of any kind, it was apathy on their part,
Right.
and I don't believe that anymore. I
Right.
think it's more on their shop owners, what kind of a culture they want to build in their
Exactly.
shop. Are they wanting their technicians to grow? It should be mandatory
Yep.
that your technicians grow in their knowledge and skills, and that the shop, reward them accordingly and support them accordingly.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of shop owners are really counting dollars and cents, and they don't realize the return on investment by sending their technicians out to training,
Absolutely.
and really getting them to learn these new technologies, not just by throwing them into a job,
Right.
but actually by getting the proper training in advance.
Yeah, training doesn't cost, it pays.
You have been in the industry for so long before coming to Dorman. What was your actual trigger to come to Dorman?
That's a good question. We all reach a point in our careers where we are looking for increased challenges.
Yep.
The gentleman who took on the directorship for the training center is a good friend of mine. I've worked with him with Motor Age for many years doing webinars and training together.
Right.
And he asked me to be part of his team when he came to Dorman. Very honored by that, because that gentleman, Mr. G. Trulia, is probably one of the best trainers in the country. The other full-time trainer we have right now, Ken Zanders, is also noted as one of the top trainers in the country. So to be included in that mix,
Right.
was very humbling for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's priceless.
I like the fact that when we're done and these guys come to you and these gals come to you afterward, and they tell you, hey, we learned something, we had a good time doing it, we can't wait to see you again.
Right.
That's again, it's very humbling. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, it makes me feel good.
It's rewarding.
It is
Absolutely.
rewarding.
When you're sharing that wealth of knowledge, it's rewarding.
Well, again, I want to stress, that's not what I know.
Yep.
It's our job to get the factual resources
Yep.
from a variety of sources, vet that information,
Yep.
and then bring it to the techs that need it.
Yeah, I think it's great. That about wraps it up. We learned a lot about you, and I'm sure the viewers have, and hopefully they're going to head out over to the Dorman Training Center, sign up for the next program, and get learning.
Hey, look for us on Facebook group at Dorman Products. We have a DTC Facebook group there. A lot of information is traded out there. You'll know what the latest opportunities are, both in in-person training and what we have in terms of webinars and a variety of resources that we're building into the website. So it's going to be a one-stop shop if you want to keep up with your education.
Great. Well, listen to Pete. He's got a lot of good information. He's telling you where to go. And for Dorman Products, I'm Nick. This is Pete Meier. We'll see you next time.